By the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
After several protest-filled days at Trump Tower, the president returns to his working vacation in New Jersey. But the fallout over his handling of the violence in Charlottesville continues. I'm Seth Lemon in Washington with more coming up.
6:31 on this Thursday. Chet Lehman, Missy O'Malley with you. Matt has our forecast with a peek into the weekend coming up in a moment. Meantime, the top story, fallout continues from President Trump's Tuesday press conference, during which he yet again refused to place blame for the violence in Charlottesville, Virginia on white supremacists.
Overnight, though, in the exact same spot where the clashes took place, locals gathered for a vigil preaching peace and tolerance. Seth Lemon is in Washington with our latest.
Hundreds gathered Wednesday evening at the University of Virginia for a candlelight vigil denouncing the violence and racism that was on display over the weekend in Charlottesville.
We just don't want this anger and hate in our town.
Being here tonight was a way of really reclaiming the city.
Protests continued throughout the country. This one outside Trump Tower in New York was organized by a Jewish group. Here in D.C., the condemnation of President Trump from Democrats and Republicans continues in light of his comments blaming both sides for the violence in Charlottesville.
The president speaks for himself. The Klan is evil.
Nearly a dozen high-profile corporate leaders quit the president's Business Advisory Council over his response to the violence in Charlottesville. In a tweet Wednesday, the president announced he had disbanded the group. Seth Lemon for CBS News, Washington.
Now, on Wednesday night, the head of the Democratic National Committee sent an email to the head of the Republican National Committee calling the Republicans to, quote, disavow President Trump now, unquote. The DNC chair says that we are at a time when white supremacists see the president as their leader and fiercest defender.
Meantime, now just ahead of 6:33, Matt steps in to join us with our latest look at current conditions and that. Not too bad out there for the most part.
We're doing okay. I think our biggest problem is the fact that air quality has been deteriorating, and that's something that we've been talking about throughout the week, that we'll continually see that fall apart for us. I think that's the case as we head through the afternoon today. Right now, temperature sitting at 52 in Belgrade, 45 in Butte. Ennis sitting at a nice, comfortable 51 degrees, 41 in West. Temperature should top out around the 80-degree mark for the afternoon. We do have a few clouds out there, but our rain chances remain slim. We're going to, of course, talk about those rain chances and our air quality and fire potential. It's all, of course, coming up here in just about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Matt. Now 6:33, taking a look at some Montana headlines this morning. According to the Bureau of Land Management, the final report on the nation's largest wildfire so far this year was a pricey one to fight. $9.8 million for the Lodgepole Complex of fires in north central Montana. Catastrophic blaze burned 270,000 acres, 16 primary homes, numerous secondary structures, along with hundreds of miles of fencing and haystacks.
And charges have been filed against 2 juvenile suspects on the Clarkston fire that burned 143 acres on Monday. Sheriff's Office Captain Jake Wagner said charges of negligent arson have been filed against the 2 who started the blaze while playing with fireworks. The fire is now totally contained. No homes were lost in the blaze, but a couple of outbuildings were burned. It cost $75,000 to get under control.
Staying on topic, the Myers fire remained calm yesterday. It's approaching 14,000 acres burned, only 5% currently under control. On KBZK and KXLF.com, check the evacuations. Some have been downgraded, but still people have to be prepared to go if that fire should change. A community meeting scheduled for today at 5. Doors open at 4:30 at 100 Fire Lane, Georgetown Lake, for personalized fire briefings.
And 2 young men who walked away from the pre-release center in Butte on Tuesday night were arrested in Billings on Wednesday after crashing a stolen van into a building. 2 suspects were serving time for drug crimes, but now face several additional charges. 20-year-old John English and 27-year-old Maxwell West crashed into the building and then attempted to flee on foot. Now, no one was injured. Billings police believe English and West had stolen a pickup near Big Timber before allegedly stealing that van in Billings.
Some good news. Gallatin County Sheriff's Office shares that news this morning that Sheriff Brian Goodkin has returned home from Benefice Hospital in Great Falls following a motorcycle crash on August 5th. Sheriff Goodkin wants everyone to know that he's healing and is doing well and is great to be back at home. Sheriff Goodkin said, quote, "Even though I was gone, your sheriff's office never skipped a beat during a busy time. You have more than 130 dedicated people doing everything they can to keep Gallatin County safe. I look forward to a full recovery and saddling back up," end quote. Sheriff was hit by a deer while on a motorcycle.
And if you're looking for a way to share Montana with the world and to learn about another country without leaving the country, Big Sky area is looking for international student host families. Bozeman, Belgrade, and Manhattan high schools cannot take any additional international students for this coming school year, but Big Sky can, and continuing to add additional students throughout the end of the month. By applying through the ASSE, families can select a potential student based on their nationality, interests, and gender to live in their home for 3, 6, or 12 months. Hosts are not required to have children of their own, and single-parent families are more than welcome. Host families must provide a bed and 3 meals a day to the student. Two-time host mother reflected on taking her German student on a camping trip the day after he arrived in Montana.
And later he said, "You know, it was so neat to come and know that you were just going to share a tent with me, because I felt immediately like I was family." And it was really neat. And then he enjoyed wakeboarding for the first time in his life, got out to see Montana.
That sounds like a good time. Now, for more information on how to become a host family, please visit our websites.
Good stuff there. Now, a while back, we showed you chocolate chirp cookies from the Cowboy Cricket Farm, which harvests crickets for their nutritional value. Cowboy Cricket Farm received just over $57,000 in a grant from the Montana Board of Research and Commercialization Technology to begin new research on a super cricket. The funds will allow them to explore selective cricket breeding for higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids. The owners expect the super cricket to be developed by next July. Eventually, they hope this new breed of cricket will promote not only sustainability, but healthy hearts.
The reason why it's so important is because of heart health. Most importantly, it helps to actually control the pace of the heart and make sure that all of your valves and everything are working correctly so that you have just a longer, happier life. And in a place like Bozeman, where we're so active, you know, people really want to have a healthy heart so they can keep hiking up those mountains.
All thanks to a cricket. Cowboy Cricket Farm worked with MSU's 406 Labs and the Blackstone Launchpad to make this super cricket dream a reality. We'll get to hear from them more coming up later today.
And they are absolutely
Yes, they're
delicious.
lovely,
We've
yeah.
all tried them. They're really good. And it is a sign that summer is wrapping up as college students at Montana Tech started moving into their dorms. As of yesterday morning in Butte, students and their parents spent the morning hauling in essentials for dorm life as students moved into their new dwellings in preparation for the fall semester at Montana Tech. There were plenty of volunteers on hand to help the students get adjusted to their new surroundings and to answer any questions.
They're excited to start the new chapter, but nervous. The parents are definitely more excited than some of the students. Definitely. I've seen more smiles on the parents' faces than the students.
And you're about to go do
I know,
that
that's
exact
crazy stuff.
same thing.
Smiles and some tears. I know.
A
That's
lot
how
of
that'll be.
changes,
Good
but
stuff.
it's really exciting
Good
all at the
stuff.
same time.
There you go.
Don't go anywhere. In just a moment, our own political analyst, Dr. David Parker, sits down with Congressman Greg Gianforte. But first, to check in on your headlines coming up right here at 7.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe joins us here for his first national interview since the Charlottesville attack. And we're on the big island of Hawaii, where coral reefs are dying at an alarming rate. Why sunscreen could be part of the problem. See you at 7.